Hello, welcome back to Beyond the Brief. If you're someone who finds it difficult to develop an interest in commercial laws, then this episode is for you. Today, we have Mr. Shubham Shukla sir. Sir is an assistant professor of law at Amity University, Jaipur. Sir is a Ph.D. scholar at India International University of Legal Education and Research, Goa. And sir has completed his master's from MNLU, Mumbai in corporate and commercial laws. In this episode, sir has shared some amazing insights on developing an interest in corporate laws, how to start studying corporate laws, about the complete counseling process of CLAT PG, career in legal academia, and a lot more. So watch this episode till the end to find some amazing insights which will help you navigate your career path. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Beyond the Brief. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for I got a chance to interact with you. It's a pleasure anyway.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
How are you?
Sir, I am good as well. And let me tell you the first thing that whenever I asked for any guest recommendation from any of my seniors, you were the first name.
Okay.
I came to know that you have been academically very active throughout your college days. So, is it safe to assume that you are always a scholar?
No, being academically active and being a good student are two different things. And almost saying that I'm academically very active is something which I myself cannot consider myself as academically very pro or being a scholar. I'm an average student. I've been almost 7 pointer out of 10, you can say. Scoring on an average, and you can consider top 15 position or top 10, because right now in our college, when I used to do during my BLLB, we were from a traditional university, as you know, DAVB Indore. So the examination pattern is pretty set and we have essay type questions. So I think scoring there is not going to determine your academic competence. And keeping that in mind, I can say that I am during my college days, I realized quite a lot of things. And towards the end of it, I became much more involved in the various activities which we have, like co-curricular or curricular or academic. So the whole point is about maintaining a balance between these three. So if you are okay with doing that bit hard work and maintain a proper balance between how you are sorting out your priorities with regards to your studies as well as your other activities, be it like moot court or MUNs or some other activities which you are involved in, a particular club in which you are interested in. So all these things are a lot of things to do for a law student, right? And definitely being a law student, you cannot just confine yourself to uh, bookish knowledge. So it's that only. So my attempt was to balance it out in a manner in which I prefer, determining my interest as well. So stating that academically sound or a scholar is not justified, that's what I consider. And yeah, that's it.
But were you involved in a lot of activities like moot courts and clubs?
Yeah, so for me, it's like the journey begins from the very first year. I started exploring new things. I got interested towards debating. Parliamentary debate was the one particular pattern of debating in which I'm pretty much inclined to. So during the end, towards the end of my first year only, I started exploring the competitions which we have in place, and that's when from where you got the confidence. I got the confidence to research and to speak up to. I was not a very good public speaker in the very beginning of my college days, but after a point of time, once you study law, it definitely empowers you to speak in public. And
Right.
yes, MUNs over the point of time, and over a point, definitely moot court plays an important role with regards to your academic skill, grooming of your researching skills. And once you are properly researched and thorough with your knowledge, you automatically gain the confidence to speak. So speaking about myself, I did quite a lot of parliamentary debating, MUNs, and moot courts as well. And obviously these are the things which will shape up your personality towards the end of your fifth year. So yeah, definitely that was there. And at that time, there was this initiation of literary society which was established in our
Right.
college
Yes.
at that time in Law Institute of Law. So there were there was an important role of all my faculties which were there who motivated me. needless to mention, Mahashwata ma'am was there, Sneha ma'am was there, who provided like enough opportunities. Our seniors plays an important role in determining your interest and obviously giving you that first opportunity. I still remember like in my first year, I got this opportunity to team up in a moot court with Palak ma'am and one senior. So that was the opportunity, which is a breakthrough, like which is determining path for your like upcoming competitions. So that particular first opportunity is something I think very important for any law student. Once you are other side of the dais, definitely you become addictive to that particular stage fear and all, and you started enjoying it.
Right.
So that's what like I did ample of co-curricular activities during my college days, and I'm happy for it. Like it's been enough rewarding for me. First.
Sir, how did you develop an interest in corporate laws?
Corporate laws is a journey like it's pretty much less explored during my 5 years college time, and I'll say that students are like almost most of the students are afraid of corporate laws because it is not that much given its due regards to. And
I'm one of them.
yeah, so first thing is it's bit lengthy and you might find it not interesting, like it's monotonous at times.
Yeah.
But once you start digging deep into it and you develop interest in corporate side of like literally like academic side. I'm not talking about practice right now, like because
Mhm.
my like many of the law students think about working in corporates and the sector thing seems pretty bright shining future and everything nice paying jobs. But talking about the academic task, which is related to the corporate laws, our very first exposure was through company law. I think like we start from the
Yes.
contract as well. So, but over the point of time, I think the only good thing which remains with the student in their 5 year law journey is the law of contract. And after that, very few of the students, they are interested in going deep into the intricacies of company law as such, than the laws, the various other laws which are related to it, like corporate governance, corporate finance, then insolvency and bankruptcy, competition law. But from perspective of an traditional university, you don't get opportunity to study many of these laws, which are very much crucial in your like practicing life, or if you are going for a corporate litigation, you are not like you'll not find it in a traditional syllabus that you have insolvency and competition law. So it takes a lot of time for these university to approach to a very dynamic syllabus. They need to keep on updating and evolving with that. And moreover, the faculties, there is I still feel that there is dearth of faculties as well. Like there are very less faculties those who have a specialization in corporate and commercial laws. And that is one more reason which I can think is also where why students are not that much interested in corporate law. Talking about myself, like I got my interest in like when I was exploring banking law and company law myself, like I have to go through each and everything on myself, on my own. But after my like 5 year journey, I was pretty much inclined towards arbitration and study that.
Yes.
But I got this opportunity to go through HNLU as well as MNLU Mumbai. So one of my senior was from MNLU Mumbai. She told me that like MNLU Mumbai has some very good academic faculties who can teach you corporate law, and if you have specialization in that, it will be a very good thing. So during the time of my masters, I developed that particular interest on my own, that yes, it's something good. And once you start enjoying things, it not remain a task of being like academically, you need to force yourself. So it's automatically you will gain that interest in a particular subject. So I think what is required from a particular student, if they are interested in, they need to explore themselves, the dimensions which are involved, and accordingly they can plan their internships as well. Moreover, like second thing is like the interest, which I think the effort that faculties need to do with regards to the in developing that particular interest of students towards corporate law. I think that those two factors are the determining factors for me per se during my academic journey, as well as I think these two improvement can definitely work for improving the particular inclination of students towards studying and learning corporate law. Whether they are going to practice it or not, it's another question.
Right. Absolutely, sir. Also, I think we don't have very good teachers for corporate and company laws because students who develop an interest towards corporate law uh, want to join a big corporate firm and work there mostly. And especially
I
students
think
who,
that is one of the most important factor, right? If once you get an interest in corporate law, definitely you're going to work in that particular field, and people tend to join firms because academic jobs are not that much well paid as in comparison to a corporate job. And once you are well versed with a particular many any of the field of the corporate law related to, like, it's very wide dimension, corporate and commercial law, starting from your contract to your IPR to your IBC to your competition to your merger and acquisition or anything. So people tend to go for corporate litigation or corporate practice or arbitration per se. But yes, that is one particular factor why we don't find these many faculties having specialization in corporate law, and which is again start the whole journey altogether with why students don't have interest. And if they have interest, they are going to join the corporate firms, not in academics per se. So yeah, but if you find very good faculties in NLUs, or very few like institutions have very good faculties, those who have their specialization in corporate law. So there is that particular dimension needs to be improved. And moreover, what you will find in academics, like almost 70 to 80% of the faculties have their specialization in criminal or constitutional law. Constitutional laws and criminal laws are
Yes.
needless to say, it's pretty much important and significant, and doing academic research as well in them is comparatively feasible for students to choose upon. And that is one more reason again why it's contributing to the same loop of having less inclination towards corporate law.
Right. Sir, so why did you not go for corporate law firm jobs, and were you always interested in academics?
See, I developed my inclination toward academics is once why I was there in my master's, right? I have this inclination that I might start working as an tribunal secretary or in arbitration. I was interested in to explore that particular part of it. But once I was there in my master's, like I myself felt that yes, there is something which I can do which can be a bit different. But yes, I'll do my bit to develop that particular interest of students toward corporate law, and I might make it interesting for them to explore as well corporate law. So that is one of the factor. And obviously I enjoyed having academic discussion with my friends. I have this experience of teaching as well a bit. So that's how, like, during the time of my masters, I developed this interest that I might go into academics, and like having a specialization in corporate law and not opting to go for a corporate firm is one of the important decisions which determined
Yes.
my path over the
Yes.
point of time. And that is like which naturally came like that is my very conscious approach or kind of conscious decision to go for into academics. Like the satisfaction level is pretty much high in academics, and that is why I opted to go for in academic field in specialize having a specialization in corporate and commercial
And
laws.
how are you enjoying it being on that type, that side of
Like
the table?
talking about myself, like right now I have like 3 and 3.5 years of experience, and it's altogether a journey. You learn a new thing every day, and interacting with students. I like my student phase is never gonna over. Like it's the one fact of it. Like I enjoy going to college. I enjoy reading daily some new things, and syllabus keep on updating, right? I enjoy discussing new amendments, new things, or any news, particular news, any and like especially related to corporate law, because it's very difficult for students to make them realize that right now these things you might not be interested in, but anyway, like directly or indirectly, it is going to impact
Right.
you. And anyway, like be it taxation. Taxation law is one other thing which is pretty much less focused with regards to a student life. Most of the focus goes to a taxation practice when you are opting to practice particularly taxation laws. Then you opt to basically study GST or in direct taxation. So all those things are somehow like I'm doing my bit to make it interesting or to teach in a particular manner where a student might not get bored of it. And I don't know how much I am successful like in that particular regard, but yes, it's a satisfying job. And with time you improve, and that's the improvement which I'm looking forward to in my every attempt, in my every lecture. That with every time, if I'm teaching like third time I'll be teaching company law over the point of time, and I myself feel that there is every time you have some new things to add on to your own pedagogy and your own approach to deliver it to students, right? International exposures or like currently existing international laws can make it interesting, or recent developments can make it interesting. There are some subjects like law and economics which is pretty much unexplored in India, in very few colleges teach these kind of subjects. Whereas if you see all the leading institution, law institution, they have this as a specialized course, law and economics, and students opt it. And keeping into mind the significance of that particular subject and exploring these dimensions is pretty much crucial. And like once you get that idea that if you will tell students that this is also and again a very important part of it, and if you can use it in any of your interpretation or during the time of your mood, it will help you out. So all these things contribute quite a lot in for me learning as well as for my students. So that's my.
So I think that we don't like this corporate and commercial laws because many of us are not from commerce background. Like for myself, I don't understand basic terms. So that makes it difficult for me to read company law and corporate laws. So
I
how do
can
you make
completely
it interesting
understand
or
you.
easy for those kind of students?
Uh, I can understand you, Rashmi, for like even myself, I am from physics background. Like I
Yes.
had PCM in my 12th, right? Not that much exposed to intricacies of accountancy or like be it like commerce that's as such. But yeah, I had my personal interest towards economics was there. So that is one thing which motivated me to understand those economics concept as such. But starting from the very first exposure which you have is from the company law, and once you start exploring these terms are not that much difficult, and having these laws, having this sunset, right? If you are going through your procedural laws like going through CPC and CRPC, I think going through corporate law won't be that much difficult to understand. And the terms are there. Like once you are habitual with going through all those laws, like once you understand the basic, it's like that. It's the same. Once you understand the company law, it become very much easy for you to read any other particular, be it like SEBI guidelines or be it like any particular law, be it like corporate governance per se. So once the basics are clear, and it's just one particular step which you need to take is you need to sort out all your basics with regards to that particular fundamental subject which we have in place. And after that, the things becomes much more easier for you. And moreover, what I find right now, like students are themselves pretty much aware. They do that effort because I can say that financial literacy in India as a whole is increasing. Like students themselves has very much inclination towards they get to know about how share market functions or what is mutual fund. I need to learn investing and all these things, and they have played an important role in developing that particular inclination of students towards this particular subject of subjects related to corporate law. So I think the effort which is required from student is that once they need to hold on to it will be a time taking process for them to understand the basics of company law, and over the point of time, once they are through with it, it become very interesting. Like it become very interesting once you start enjoying those particular case studies which we have in place. For example, corporate governance failures, like it's altogether a study based on different failures which we have witnessed in India or globally. So once you are through with the basics, the rest of the journey become comparatively easier. But yeah, the lengthiness of the subject still remains the same. At times, the guidelines becomes monotonous, but you have to hold on to it because it's not that much technical that you won't be able to understand. And one more thing which I find over the point of time, like there is fear of numbers, right?
Mm.
In corporate law, you will find those things pretty much inculcated in the subject as well, right?
Yes.
So that's one thing which require a bit of effort. But yes, basics of economics again will help you to understand it thoroughly, and
So if
those
I
two things
want
will be.
to start reading corporate laws, is it company law from where I start?
Yeah, I think the basics of contract will always be there at your back end to support you. Contract, sales of goods, partnership, uh, specific relief will be the fundamentals part, right? Any student go through those subjects in their first years. But I think that is the time when student need to develop their interest in company law as well. Like, for example, like if I'm going to teach partnership primarily to a student, right? At that time only I can expose him to the idea that how a particular company is framed and what all difference with which a particular partnership firm has in comparison to a company. So the journey starts from there, and definitely studying company law through the Bear Act or through some particular commentaries which we have in place will be the very first step which you're gonna take towards your exposure to corporate and commercial laws. So yeah, definitely that is there.
So now I get it why I don't like corporate laws because contract law, partnership, sales of goods, we all study all these subjects in our first year, which was online. So we did not really study those subjects well. So I think that is the problem. But
Yeah, so it like
yes,
moreover, these subjects also form important part of your judiciary syllabus. So these subjects are anyway, if you are preparing for judiciary, you need to go through those subjects. So that will be there. And these are not that much difficult subjects,
yes,
pretty well drafted, well crafted laws, which are not that much amended, and very fundamental concepts are there. So even with regards to if you are interested in commercial drafting or any form of drafting, like contract drafting is one of the basics which you need to learn. And for that, these fundamental laws are going to help you, right? So that will always be there.
so you also had an interest in arbitration. So how was that? Could you share some insights from?
Okay, developing my interest in arbitration, like in 16 or 17 around, like it was an evolving field. It's a new subject. I like the idea of arbitration. I did my internships in arbitration. I had this exposure to Suomoto arbitration, which was taking place. DIAC, like Delhi
Yes.
International Arbitration Center, was functioning at that time. Like it was in the very initial phase. So I had this very naive concept of arbitration when I read it, but when I did my internship, it developed my interest towards how it all functions and how smooth going an arbitration is. Right, it was right. That's how I started exploring about the law. I read it myself, and obviously I did a research on few of the topics related to arbitration at that time, like assigned to me by the arbitrator Justice S.K. Mishra. So in India, the phase of arbitration changed. Like even at that time, what we were exposed to most of the time is the suo motu arbitration. But after the amendment of 21, right, we witnessed the drastic change, and there was like a lot more improvement in with regards to institutional arbitration in India. So for me, like my exposure to arbitration is through my subject, which I've studied, and after that through my internship during the time of my masters, as well as I did my project in arbitration. And at that time, I was like student member of few arbitration institutions which were initiated in India at that time, right? Mumbai International Arbitration Center and all. So we used to conduct programs and all. Like arbitration moot also played in one of the important role. Like we experienced it firsthand, like how it all functions. So definitely it's a field which is evolving in India, and I think that over a point of time you will see we'll find a lot of improvement with regards to institutional arbitration in India, and upcoming ideas of specialized arbitration, for example, construction specific arbitration or maritime issues related arbitration, and all these things will be another important dimension where if a student is interested in, they can definitely choose to have their career in that particular field. But in many of the cities, like except for few metros, what we witness is the arbitration is governed by through the respective high court. So definitely the litigating advocates, they are the one taking care of the arbitrations as well. And that what's there is in suo motu arbitration, sorry, this temporary arbitration, ad hoc arbitration, which is taking place there. So I think I mentioned few of the time it's ad hoc arbitration which we have in place earlier than the institutional arbitration. So yeah, the improvement is required, and my inclination is through my own like fascination towards a particular field, that how it's taking place and how what is UN central model, how they are determining their own competency. There are few concepts which still amaze you every time, right? Competence rule, or be it like
Yeah.
challenge given under section 34. So all these concepts and the landmark cases have played an important role in developing my interest as a student or as a faculty. I didn't get the opportunity though to teach arbitration laws, because right now I'm pretty much engaged in teaching corporate and commercial laws, that I didn't never get this opportunity to delve deep into arbitration as such academically, or like never got this opportunity to work there in the field because I opted to go for academics later on, right after my masters.
I've also interned at DIAC, and we got to work on an mercantile case, which was like at that time it was a constitutional bench judgment on which we worked. After that, it got reversed from a seven-judge bench. So the competence rule, and it was very fascinating. In fact, I also developed an interest in arbitration when I was interning, but when I came back, I don't know, somehow it went off.
So
But
it's a journey, right? In your 5 years, you might change your options or your interest 10 times or 20 times, and it's fairly justified. What I think that it's okay to develop an interest, but to satisfy your inquisitiveness. If you are interested in a particular field, try to explore, try to understand, and then take a informed choice that whether you want to go for it or not, and do your efforts, right? If you are interested in, like, maybe next time you can work somewhere else or go for an arbitration team in a particular law firm, because many a time if you work working in as an institution, you are observing as a secretary, you don't know what exactly ground level research you are doing, or formation of a written statement, which, because there are very much detailed written statement which are submitted in arbitration disputes, right? So I think that is what is required, right? If you can observe it from the side of a litigant or as a particular attorney representing a particular party in an arbitration. So these all dimensions can be explored by you, and over the point of time, you will be having a particular, you will be in a position where you can decide that whether you want to go for it or not. Nothing is as such left as such. Like, you have a time, you still have like a lot of time and opportunities to explore the field and to study it per se.
Right. So, so you mentioned that you developed an interest in corporate laws during your master's. Can you please tell us the complete process? Like after we give CLAT, what is the counseling process and how do we select our subject of specialization?
I think the primary factor for you will be determining factor for you is your rank. According to your rank, you need to determine what all NLUs which you will be getting into, right? According to that, you can check the list of available options in that particular NLU, like what all specialization they'll be offering with regards to masters per se, right? LLM. And in most of the NLUs, you will find business laws or either corporate and commercial laws or IPR or international arbitration as a specialization. Having said that, right, NALSAR offers, I think, all 5 specialization. NUJS offered 2, one being IPR and business laws and international arbitration. So you need to basically go through the specialization offered by that particular NLU, which you have an option to opt for. So while filing for your counseling, the option of your NLUs, like be it list 1, list 2, or list 3, you need to sort out the preferences of your NLUs based on your specialization and your inclination. At the end of the day, definitely there are a lot of other factors which are going to determine whether that particular specialization will be there for that particular term or not, depending on the number of students opting for that particular specialization. Okay, but many of the NLUs, depending on their batch size, have a lot of specialization offered. For example, NLU D has almost all the specialization. GNLU has all the specialization. NLU Jodhpur had almost all the available options which we have in place. For IPR, you need to specifically check. And for international arbitration or international law per se, you need to check and go through that particular specific NLU for which you are aiming for. So it's there, and definitely at that time, determining factor will be your rank and the particular NLU for which you have the availability, as well as the specialization offered by that particular NLU. You need to sort it out at the time of your application procedures, as well as like while opting a particular NLU.
So is it possible to work while you're pursuing specialization in an NLU? Like how's the culture?
No, I think it's very difficult. And going for an LLM from an NLU is a regular, it's a regular course. So you cannot do anything else like full time. But if you can manage to do things on your own, or doing a part-time thing is something very different, like doing something on weekend, or exploring some particular, or doing a particular part-time business is different. But otherwise, doing an LLM is a full-time job. It requires a lot of efforts, like academically, and to explore the research area of a particular field. So for 1 year, like as LLM right now is offered for 1 year from all the NLU. So it's a full-time thing, right? It's a regular course, and it can't be said that you can manage doing something else while going for your masters. And it's a very serious job, and it's to be done very seriously. And if you are planning to go for some other part-time thing, so I would suggest whether go for that particular part, or like just spare 1 year for doing your masters if you are really interested in academic exploration, gaining specialization in a particular field, or you are interested to go for academics or research per se. Then it becomes important for you to go for a serious masters, and then opt for your particular profession which you are going to opt right? So you need to dedicate that particular year to research and academic exploration
So
related to your.
would you recommend a student to go for specialization if he or she is not interested in academia?
In academia, right? I think IPR is one thing, right? Because if you haven't gained that much exposure to IPR, I think IPR has a lot of opportunities with regards to working in corporate, even corporate and commercial laws. Gaining that particular specialization in corporate and commercial laws has that will give you that edge if you want to then enter the corporate field and start working there. And corporate commercial laws, business laws, IPR will give you that competency to go and explore that particular dimension of practice. And talking about constitutional law and criminal law per se are basically, if people are opting for going for constitutional or criminal law per se, it is for their own academic exposure as well as their research, getting their or for just for the qualification sake they are going for LLM. So that is or they might be planning for preparing for judiciary or some other competitive examination. That is again one more factor which because of which people opt for having specialization in constitutional and criminal law. So it's pretty personal choice, personal informed choice which an individual needs to take. And talking about getting a job out, like because of LLM, is again will be the same task. Like it is difficult. Most of the NLUs, they might assist you. They'll invite companies for the purpose of appearing in interview, but remains the same, and it's a very personal thing. Like if you are well prepared and well versed with your concept, you will be able to crack the interview and enter into that field. Otherwise, it's the process remains the same. You need to go intern somewhere, get that particular option to do an assessment internship, then get the PPO, and it's the same process. You need to do the same process which you do after your 5 year law course, right? So just for the sake of getting a job is not why I would recommend for a particular individual to go for masters. I think that 1 year can be utilized by them to get experience in the industry itself. So that will be a determining factor. But yeah, if you are interested in a particular field, whether be it IPR or corporate law, and you want to gain that confidence to work in the field, then it's an option for you.
So what a lot of students do is, because we are from private law institute mostly, so to get that tag of NLU, we go for specialization, and
Yeah,
that is
it's inevitable over a point of time that yes, the tags and from where exactly are you coming to will be a determining factor with regards to vetting of your applications in any particular law firm. But over a point of time, I think 1 year, 2 year down the lane, once you are in the industry, your experience is going to determine, and your competence is gonna determine whether you are eligible for a particular job or not. So I think all the students, those who are from private college, they can work upon their skills and developing their competence. And there are many other opportunities as well, like to prove that you are capable enough to be there or to apply for a particular position. Like doing a CS is again will give you that particular expertise in a particular field of corporate laws. And if you want to opt for it, you can parallelly do a CS over a point of time and get that particular exposure of corporate and commercial laws. So yes, tag remains an important factor, and that can be like balanced out through your skills and your experience. And it's a matter of 1 or 2 or 3 years that you will be in a position where your previous experiences and your CV is gonna determine your position or your competence for a particular job. So it's there. So just for the tag, if you are opting out to go for a NLU, I think that's not justified, and you won't be happy or satisfied if just for the tag you're opting to go for a master's from an NLU.
right. Sir, so my last question to you is, please, can you share one experience that you absolutely love and you look forward to in your teaching journey?
Best one of the best is right. Whenever a class goes well, like whenever like I can say there are students like those who do not answer, those who never speak in class, And there are like very recently an incident happened. There is a student like who used to basically not attend the class, where he was pretty much irregular, and he's one of the backbencher. And once they apply, once they answer to your queries, right, while whether you are really able to connect to them, and when once a particular student not expected to answer answers in a class, is again every time you feel satisfied from your heart that yes, you have done something to contribute, that at least he is informed now and he's doing his bit to develop that particular confidence. So that those experiences are your day-to-day experiences, right? In 1 month or 2 months you might come across that particular case, but over this journey of 3.5 years, I think whenever my student gets in or win a particular moot court competition or gets a good job, or once they are out in the industry and we tend to discuss that yes, we have discussed these concepts. Or like very recently, one of my students, she went for a internship, and the intricacies which we she was discussing of insolvency and bankruptcy code, and I discussed those cases with my students, and those kind of things are pretty much satisfactory, right? So those nuances which you can discuss with your students and as well as the professional, all those incidents are satisfactory. Keeping that apart, the fun part of the profession is, right, you live to you get a chance to live your student life every now and then, right? So student come and share their personal life, professional life, the problems which they are facing, and definitely it becomes pretty much satisfying over the point of time that now you are in a position where you can uh, help mentoring them. So that part is never like can't be compared to anything else which you have in place, right? So that's will always be a particularly determining factor for any individual to opt for being in an academic profession.
Right. Thank you so much for talking to us, sir, and I really enjoyed this conversation.
And thank you so much, Rashmi, for giving me this opportunity, and pleasure is all mine. Like, obviously, discussing it will definitely expose myself to, like, again, all these things are there, but you very rarely get a chance to again revisit all those memories, all those experiences. So one such experience is this, and I really wish you all the best for your initiative and for your startup as well, right? For having this particular conversation, and all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rashmi.